Hi, welcome back. Just a few things I wanted to update you on since so many things are going on. The one thing I find I want to follow the most for today, besides everything, is that today starts the 3-day trial that Governor Newsom started back on June 6th when President Trump took some legal action and said that the protests were getting out of hand, even though they weren't. He said that he deployed the National Guard and eventually the Marines. So today actually starts the 3-day trial. I know it seemed like forever back in June, but today's actually day one. It's taking place in California and it's taking place in San Francisco. We'll get updated tonight what happened all day long in the courthouse, and I cannot wait to get that update. The suit arose after the protests erupted over the immigration raids, and the Trump administration invoked a rarely used law allowing federal control of the guard under certain conditions. I mean, this is so rare to use your military on your own land. That's not what military is for. A National Guard takes away from doing what it usually does for California, which is fight firefighters. They all have day jobs and families they need to be with and working on, but instead he has them deployed to stand on guard for these protests just because one or two got a little out of control, which is what happens with protests. But everything is so out of control out there because of his aggression, Trump's aggression, and it's really sad to see footage on this. So today, a 3-day bench trial is starting. It's overseen by Judge Breyer, and the way I remember that is Breyer ice cream, in case you need a memory match, because it's so hard to keep up on everyone's name. And they're going to see if this use of the military in domestic law enforcement and limit federal authority in favor of the states' rights. So Gavin Newsom wants his rights given back to him. He was skipped in this process of the National Guard going in. He was totally skipped in this process, and it clearly states that you must go through the governor. I can't wait to see what happens. The allegations are related to the Posse Comitatus Act, which is crazy. It just lets our crazy president argue that, we're in danger, basically a danger status of being in war happening within our country. And now California has their turn to prove that that's not what's going on in there. Okay, that's just a quick update. Today starts that trial. Also, an update today is Melania came out and posted that she and her husband, Trump, were not introduced by Epstein. She wanted to make that completely clear. Someone else introduced them. That's wonderful, but still doesn't take her away from all those photos with Ghislaine and Epstein that are all over the internet. Also, I wanted to update you on Texas. The Democrats representatives are still out of Texas. They left the state so they wouldn't have to see this vote go through for gerrymandering a new map mid-decade to get more Republican votes that Donald has requested or aggressively pushed this agenda on Texas lawmakers. The fact, someone said this over the weekend, usually it's don't mess with Texas. They stand up for everything they believe in. The fact that Texas is bowing down to kiss a New Yorker's butt is just like beyond everybody's like, what? Texas and New York, both that have like a little bit of overextended egos. Texas is bowing down to a criminal no less, New Yorker. So that's still updated. They're still trying to get all the Democrats in as of today, Monday, to get back in there and vote, which asshole Governor Greg Abbott of Texas is, saying, this is your job. You should be here and vote. And he's trying to get Minority Leader Gene Wu removed from his seat while he's out of state. While Wu's response to that was, I am doing my job. I'm protecting our people in Texas and in our country by doing this. So they also stopped their automatic payments for being the representatives, Democratic ones, of Texas today. Not that they get paid much. They only get paid like $600 a month for their place in the government. Most of them have other jobs that pay their bills, families, homes, and they've had to leave all this stuff to stand up for what's right in this country. So I wanted to update you on that as well. Oh, Ghislaine Maxwell, in case you didn't know, she was moved to a new prison. It's called Camp Bryan, because there's basically almost or no guards. From what I understand, she can walk out and come and go as she pleases and anytime she wants. And she was sentenced. She's supposed to be in like her third year of her 20-year sentence serving in Tallahassee, Florida. Go figure, Florida and Texas making their deal. Something had to get waived there, technically, so she could actually be into this like Princess Little camp. And I just want to make it perfectly clear that Texas A&M, the college, is like right there if you look on the map. And Texas A&M, they work with Camp Bryan prison facility because it's supposed to be low. If you broke the law, you're not a sex trafficker. You didn't commit perjury 2 times, that they could prove it at least. So it's right next to young college girls, which is exactly why she's serving time to begin with. This is horrible that this has happened, and she can get out and start preying on these girls. She might even be doing it already because she's in this extremely low maximum prison. And also, I don't know if you saw the footage, but Trump got hugely booed at the huge WWE event last week, and it was amazing. They're getting booed everywhere. Everybody is just waking up except for that little, like, tiny 30% of the MAGA people that don't want to be woken up and shooken, that all our rights are going away. Oh, one more thing on this quick update. What am I on, 10 already? There's pictures now. Donald did this in his last administration. He wants to do this immediately in Washington, D.C. You know how he's been saying he wants to take over Washington, D.C. because the crime's so high, etc. But if you actually look at the statistics, you can see that actually crime has gone down in Washington, D.C. So again, lying. He's just calling for these major things so he can implement these major things. Washington, D.C., if Donald has his way, is going to start looking like California. They already showed a picture of his last term when he had all the National Guard on the steps of the White House building, I think it was, and it looks like a dictatorship because I guess it is a dictatorship. So look out for more of that stuff coming up. And I will talk to y'all soon. Y'all continue to have a great day. Let's stay on high frequency levels, even though all this is going on, but still do what we can do to get people out there. So that's it for now. Love y'all. Peace.